Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the gentlelady for yielding to me. I do find it really interesting that the logic, if you follow the logic of those who oppose this bill, what they're suggesting is for the 1,406 rules that the Biden administration passed since August, that they want us to do a bill, and then one bill for every one of them. Let's do one bill for every one of them. Now, we could do that. I'm happy to work. If that's what they want to do, let's do it. We can come back next week. I'm happy to work every Saturday and Sunday. That's our job. But they don't really mean it. They don't really mean it, Mr. Chairman, because the reality is, if they meant it, then they wouldn't stack 50 bills into one at a time when they do their omnibus spending packages, the way they always do. That's really interesting. But you know, the value to our economy and the budget of the rules that were implemented by the Biden administration, those 1,400, let me just tell you, this isn't Andy Biggs talking. This isn't some outside group. They claim it's whatever, the 2025 thing. This isn't those guys. It's not any of those folks that said the cost to the economy and the budget is $1.34 trillion. No, that was the Biden administration's own admission. That's what their rules, imposition of their rules would cost. And we'd love to get at that. But you know what? They want us to do 1,400 separate bills. That way, none of their suspension bills where they're naming their post offices after their friends are going to get named. That's just what might happen. Not going to be enough time. But the bottom line is this. They don't want us to consider the rules of the outgoing administration. Because when we do, we're going to see some absurdities. How about the heat rule? You know, they're up in the New England states, they might get 10 days a year where the high is over 86 degrees. But in Arizona, might have more time, madam.
Yield whatever time the gentleman may use.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you. So let's consider Arizona, where I am from. Do you know how many days are above 86 degrees? And people working outside? There's about 300 a year. But they want the rule set up by some person in a little cubicle, if they even came into work, they might be working from home, a little cubicle to put a nationwide rule in place so that Phoenix, Arizona, basically is knocked out of being able to actually work and make it meaningful because we have 300 days a year above 86 degrees. That's their heat standard. That's the rule. Then if you go into this, some of their anti-pollution stuff, well, guess what? Guess what the number one particulate in Phoenix, Arizona, Maricopa County, just under 6 million people is? It's desert dust. And you know what the EPA says to us? Hey, you know what you need to do? Go use water. You need to water that stuff down. Guess what? The EPA also tells us, you got a water problem. That's the kind of rules that they don't want talked about. Because what they want to do is, if that rule's in place, you throw in the 86-degree heat rule, Maricopa County, a big red county that they don't like, effectively gets shut down economically from economic growth and expansion and population-wise. That's why the rules need to be reviewed. And they say, okay, let's review them one at a time. They don't want to review them one at a time because this bill does not prevent you from reviewing them one at a time. Doesn't prevent that. You can still do it. But it makes it more efficient because guess what? We got about 1,400 rules and maybe 6 of them were worth a tinker's dam. And that means the rest of them have to be reviewed. And the only way you're going to get them reviewed and get the debate on them is you can aggregate them in different subsets. That's what this rule allows. That's why it's important. And it's important for the American people to understand that that administration imposed about $1.35 trillion worth of rules on them in the last year alone. With that, Mr. Chairman, I thank the gentlelady, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields. The gentlelady